So this is the 20 watt ComMarker 20 watt B4. This is my machine. I own this. I purchased this. This was not supplied to me, but I do want to give some of my feedback on it. I've been using this machine pretty heavily, and I'll feature a little video in here, but you'll see that I run 5 nibs at a time. I run my fountain pen nibs through there. I've got a little jig that I put on to run clips and finials and nameplates and stuff like that. So, it's got a standard, what is it, 25 millimeter, I think. Yeah, it's got a standard 25 millimeter hole spacing for M5 screws. So you've got a lot of opportunity to lay out jigs on here. And so I use my other laser to cut out jigs, nice square jigs that I can position on here. So it's a nice setup. Elevation wise, it does elevate fairly high, but if I'm going to do a big like 40-ounce tumbler, I can undo these bolts on the bottom and turn this sideways and set it up so my rotary is actually outboard and gives me an extra, couple inches of clearance there. That's the stepper controller for the rotary, and I actually have that configured to use my own rotary. So I've got a rotary from another manufacturer that I use, and so I open this up and change my settings and everything to work with the other Chuck rotary. The one that I got with this is the little spring action one, which is probably fine for stuff like this, but I was doing some pretty heavy tumblers and the spring action just wasn't enough pressure. So either get the, if you're looking to get one of these, either get the D80, which is the big Chuck, or just know that it is possible that once you have the stepper driver that you can use other manufacturers' rotaries without a whole lot of hassle, assuming that they've got the DIN, the actual like the round barrel jack DIN plug to connect up to it. So, but it is, fairly standard. I've done a lot of stuff on this. I mean, I've done coasters. You take a look at, I've done coasters with this, slate coasters. I've done this is a sample piece, so there's a whole bunch of extra engravings on there. But I've done, two-tone leatherettes and stuff like that. What else? I've obviously done tumblers with it. I've done business cards. A couple hundred business cards are not a problem for this thing. I set up a jig and put the 200 millimeter lens on there, and I set up a jig and did 6 business cards at a time. Stock size, this is 100 by 100 or 110 by 110, I think. Or they give you the 200 millimeter lens, which is good, but you do tend to lose some power at the extremities. Again, it's a 20 watt laser, so there's only so much it can do as it gets out to those extremes, and the lens just, can't provide more power than the laser is capable of outputting. So I tend to leave the 110 millimeter lens on there for the majority of the work that I do. Really, I only need to swap it out if I need to do, like I said, bulk batch business cards or something like that. So otherwise, I have recommended this machine to other people. I do see that, if you're just looking to get into the fiber market, this is a good choice, that for the price that you would pay for a 2 watt multi-purpose laser from another manufacturer. So you've got all these, we've got a 2 watt diode or a 2 watt laser and a 10 watt or 2 watt IR and a 10 watt diode. For about the same price, you can get a 20 watt fiber. And the 20 watt is so much more capable than the 2 watt. 2 watt's really going to do surface marking. 20 watt, you're actually going to get etching and engraving out of it. To get into that power range with some of these other manufacturers, you're talking almost double the price. So I think, pound for pound, at the $1,800 roughly or so that this would be out the door, brand new, it puts you into a 20 watt fiber that is very capable for most small businesses and small shops. And unless you're really wanting to get into, really deep engravings, challenge coins and stuff like that, where you're going to be doing like 3D height maps and such, you're going to want something a little bit more powerful. You're going to want probably to look at minimum a 30 watt MOPA or up into the 60 watts and higher for that kind of stuff. But day-to-day use, it cleans rust off tools really well, as you'll see a lot of people kind of touting that as a benefit of fiber lasers. You know, I've used it to remark my tooling. I've got taps and dies where the lettering on them has worn over the years, so I've kind of used the laser to clean up the surface and then re-etch the designation for what the tap or the die is. So that's, you know, really good use case. There's just so much you can do with the fiber that you can't do with a diode or a CO2, and really, unless you're going to step up into UV, having one of these in your shop really rounds out, you know, the capabilities of what maybe, you know, you're missing from some of your other laser types out there. So all that being said, I do want to thank ComMarker for sending me the material kit. You know, this is not a sponsored video. This is, as I said earlier, this is my machine. I paid for it. Having a material kit is cool, but it's not going to sway any of my opinions. So the opinions I'm giving are mine and mine alone, based on production use of this machine. Let's kind of jump into a little montage of some of the work that I've done with this laser, and we'll go ahead and wrap this video up after that.